A massive shout out to the Jonin tier member Mr. Leroy 1998 and Jenin tier Leah Rov. Your support means a lot. If you would like your name mentioned in every video, as well as receive special perks and soon having early access to new series, consider becoming a member of this channel by hitting that join button. Hi guys, this is the next part of What If Naruto Was Half Soul Reaper and Half Quincy. I hope you enjoy. Naruto punches Ichigo in the face with a look of rage and begins to choke him. Urahara and Chad hold Naruto back. Naruto calms down and knocks their hands away. Naruto, are you? Orihime is cut off by Naruto walking through the doorway and slams it shut. Sign, he's just like Minato when it comes to a girl he cares about, Urahara said, remembering how he met Urahara. Naruto, Ichigo says sadly. Time skip at night. Naruto isn't going to sleep but just staring at the ceiling. Nozomi, Naruto says sadly. Naruto, Raijin said, making Naruto's eyes widen. Mindscape, what is it? Naruto said in the middle of the rainy forest. You have forgotten what I said when I hate the rain, Raijin says, looking at the sky. You don't get it, Nozomi is gone and he probably did something to her, Naruto says, and Raijin didn't say anything. Maybe it's time that I tell you, Raijin says, and the storm stops raining. Tell me what? Naruto says hopefully. It's time you knew about, Raijin says. One day later, Naruto walks in Urahara's house in his underground training room, surprising them all. Naruto, Ichigo says in his white robe outfit. I'm sorry for how I acted yesterday, it's just that I care for her. She was angry, age was taken. Now let's save Nozomi, Naruto said, passing them. Hold up, Kon says, surprising them all seeing him here. What is it, Kon? I'm coming with you, Kon says, and Naruto blinks, suspecting this would happen. Coming with us? Are you sure? Ichigo says, wanting to make sure he means it. I don't know if I'll be of any use. My body's kinda like this. But I want to save Nozomi too. No, I will save her. Kon yells the last sentence, and Nozomi being kidnapped by Kujiroza is replaying over in his head. Is that a no? Kon says. Then Ichigo and Urahara look at Naruto and he nods. You can go. You found Nozomi, so it's your job to find her again, Naruto said. Naruto, Kon says, and Ichigo hands Kon that little lion keychain. You hold on to it this time. It's a lucky charm, right? Ichigo says, smiling, and the others smile too. It'll be good to have you there, Orihime says. Don't get in the way, Rukia said. If it get the stuffing knocked out at you, don't say I didn't warn you, Renji said. If you get ripped to shreds, I'll just sew you back together, Ryu said. Go for it, Chad said. All right, let's go, Ichigo says, and Urahara stops them. Just one thing before we set out. I have a request to make. I would like Ichigo, Naruto and myself, as well as Kon, to be the ones to infiltrate Soul Society. It seems likely that the invading army's Raigai will set up defenses centered around the Senkai Gate. It would be most effective for three of us who conceal our Reiatsu, as well as Ichigo, who has lost his spiritual powers, to skip through those defenses, Urahara said. So, what do we do? Renji said questionably. I would like you to lure the Raigai away, Urahara said. So you're basically using us as decoys, Ishida says, and Urahara nods. But how are you going to get into Soul Society? Ruka said. I have a plan, Urahara said. At the Shrine, this place is where Nozomi almost locked herself away, Naruto said. Yes, Kujiroza will surely not expect us to come through as unstable a location as this, Urahara says, opening up the gate. Well, time to go, Urahara said, and they nod. Yeah, Naruto says, and they run through the gate. Time skip. Naruto, Urahara, Kon and Ichigo fall through the portal into Soul Society at night and land on a building. They start to run on the building. Seems like we pulled it off somehow, Ichigo says. Help, I'm gonna die, Kon yells, hanging off of Ichigo weakly. Deal with it, it's all over if they find us here, Ichigo says. We're almost there, Urahara said, and they jump off the building. Kon falls off of Ichigo and falls on his face. What was that? Why'd you stop all of a sudden? Won't we be screwed if we get caught? Kon says quietly and pissed. That is why we'll be taking precautions against being seen, Urahara date touching the ground and finds a hidden doorway to the underground passage. Underground, they're all running when Naruto suddenly stops. Naruto, why are you stopping? Urahara said, and Naruto turns around. We're being followed. Judging by the Reiatsu, CCRson class Soul Reaper. 2 of them, Naruto says. But Naruto, Urahara is stopped by Naruto Flash stepping away. Outside Naruto Flash steps and appears in a forest area. Come on out, I know you're there, Naruto said, looking behind himself and sees 2 people walk out from hiding. Now this is gonna be fun, one of them says, smiling. Let us end this quickly, the other said. It's Raigai, Byakuya and Kenpachi, so I'll have to fight both of you. That doesn't seem very fair, Naruto said with his eyes narrowed. Who cares, as long as I get to fight you again I'll even fight with him, Kenpachi says, smiling. Bankai, Naruto yells and creates his hollow mask. Bring it, Naruto says in a hollow voice. Senbon Sakura, Byakuya says, and his sword turns into petals. Kenpachi removes his eye patch, releasing his full power. Now this is gonna be fun, Kenpachi yells, smiling. Naruto Flash steps in front of both of them and swings his Zanpakuto, but it was blocked by Senbon Sakura. Kaminari Shiryu, Naruto yells and Byakuya's eyes widen. Naruto breaks through Byakuya's flower petals and it's heading for him, but Kenpachi stops it. Don't forget about me, Kenpachi yells and Naruto pushes harder, making an explosion. Naruto is sliding back and Kenpachi runs out of the smoke, changing at Naruto and sends a barrage of attacks at Naruto, which he blocks. Naruto turns to see flower petals behind him and Flash steps away, but Byakuya Flash steps right behind him, making Naruto turn. Hado number 73. Soren Sukatsui, Byakuya yells and Naruto is hit by it. Senbon Sakura is heading for Naruto. It's surrounding him. Kaminari Shiryu, Naruto yells, spinning, blocking it with black lightning. Naruto's eyes widen all the way because Kenpachi is above him with his Zanpakuto raised in the air. Die! Kenpachi yells and slams the Zanpakuto down. Naruto Flash steps next to Kenpachi. I'll never die, I will save Nozomi, Naruto yells, swinging the blade, but flower petals get in front of the wave, stopping it. That won't work this time. Kaminari Shiryu, Naruto yells and Flash steps again in front of Kenpachi and sends a giant wave hitting him, sending him rolling. Kenpachi stops rolling and stands up with a slash on his shoulder. Show me more, Kenpachi yells, charging, and they clash again. Byakuya Flash steps next to Naruto and extends his hand, sending Senbon Sakura at Naruto, forcing his back. If you are fighting to save Nozomi, then your search is useless. She is most likely fused with Kujiroza already, Byakuya says, making his eyes widen. What, are you saying that she's gone now? Naruto says, completely shocked. Yes, because they fuse, they will become one, never to separate again, Byakuya says, turning around to leave, and Naruto falls to his knees. Let us leave now, this battle is pointless. We were ordered to dispose of Urahara, Byakuya says, and Kenpachi signs. Fine, but I get to take him down by myself, Kenpachi says, also turning around and starts walking away. Both then feel a massive spiritual pressure, making both turn, but he's already gone. Byakuya's eyes widen, being punched in the face all of a sudden, sending his skidding away. He's coming back for more, Kenpachi says, smiling, and he blocks Naruto's attack but being forced back by the strength. Rah! Naruto yells, pissed off, and his girls create a Sero. He's in hollowification too. I must protect Nozomi, Naruto yells, swinging his blade harder and harder, making Kenpachi take steps back. Ahahaha! Kenpachi yells, having fun, and was just slashed on his chest. Kaminari Shiryu, Naruto yells, swinging down, and Kenpachi is consumed by black lightning. Byakuya Flash steps behind Naruto. Hado number 33. Sokatsui, Byakuya says, and it was blocked by Naruto's bare hand. That won't work, Naruto yells, and Sonito's next to Byakuya and swings, but Byakuya was only cut on his arm. Naruto swings his blade and it is being blocked by Senbon Sakura. Kenpachi Flash steps behind Naruto and swings his blade, which Naruto stops it with his bare hand. Naruto creates a Sero again and sends it at the ground, sticking them, and fires. All three were hit by the blast, but Naruto wasn't injured much by it. Kenpachi and Byakuya are injured. Hehehehe, Blay, this is what I call fun, Kenpachi yells, and his spiritual pressure rises with his body covered in yellow Reiatsu. Senbon Sakura becomes a set again, and Byakuya points it to the ground and drops it. Bankai, Senbon Sakura Kajiyoshi, Byakuya says, and Sayers rise from the ground and become petals. So this is Byakuya's Bankai, Naruto thinks, BD, his eyes when widen from all of them converging on him. Kaminari Shiryu, Naruto yells Sonodoing in the air and swinging down sending a huge wave at but it was blocked by Byakuya's Bankai. Kenpachi flash steps above Naruto. So fast. Naruto thinks and was but to the ground hard. Kujirosa gave us more power to fight you Uzumaki, you cannot win now, Byakuya says and all the flower petals move even faster hitting Naruto. Shut up. Naruto yells firing a giant yellow Sero at then which was blocked by Kenpachi slashing at it. Kenpachi puts both hands on his sword while smiling. Kenpachi flash steps next to Naruto and swings which forced Naruto back. Kenpachi flash steps again in front of Naruto and swings forcing Naruto to Sonido in the air. Naruto then Sonido to the ground and keeps doing that. Cuts and slashes appear on Byakuya and Kenpachi. Enough with this foolishness, Byakuya says and Senbon Sakura Kujiyoshi circles around him and Kenpachi like a shield. Naruto Sonido's in front of the shield raising his sword but then it happens. The flower petals move showing Kenpachi and Byakuya slagging at Naruto cutting off both horns and the mask shatters making Naruto's eyes win. Faster than Naruto can move Byakuya and Kenpachi slash Naruto across his chest in an X pattern. Bleach theme never meant to belong Naruto spits put blood. Damn it, they caught me off guard, Naruto says and tries to create a hollow mask but can't find the strength. Kenpachi flash steps next to Naruto and swings his Zanpakuto. Naruto blocks his but barely. Senbon Sakura Kujiyoshi rams into Naruto's back catching him off guard and Byakuya flash steps in front of him. Byakuya raises his blade and is about to block it with blade but Kenpachi stabs Naruto in the back deeply making his eyes go widen and Byakuya brings down his blade choking off Naruto's left hand. Ah! Naruto screams in pain and almost falls to his knees and flash steps away from them and keeps doing it for a little while both Byakuya and Kenpachi are right behind him catching up fast. Damn it, at this rate I will die. I don't have enough power to use the technique. What do I do? Naruto thinks and leans against a tree and starts to slide down against it. Nozomi, what do I do? Naruto thinks and the tree he's leaving against to is destroyed by Senbon Sakura Kujiyoshi and it sends Naruto through 3 trees. Naruto starts to roll and stops lying on his back. Naruto is about to get up but Kenochi stomps on his chest making Naruto spot out blood. Is this all you can do? I thought you would be more of a challenge, Kenpachi says and stabs Naruto in his shoulder making him scream in pain and starts to swish and turn the blade. Nozomi, I'm sorry, Naruto thinks on the verge of passing out. Naruto, someone says. Naruto opens his eyes seeing Nozomi standing in front of him looking at him sadly. Naruto, don't give up, please stand up, Nozomi says with tears in her eyes. Nozomi, but how can I see you? Naruto says and both Byakuya and Kenpachi look surprised. Let's just leave, it's pointless, Byakuya says and Kenpachi signs then they both turn away and start waking away. You share a connection with my Zanpakuto and that connection allows me to talk to you, Nozomi says kneeling down and cups Naruto's cheeks. I always wanted to say this to you, Naruto says and starts to lean down towards Naruto. I love you, Nozomi says and kisses Naruto then disappears. Kenpachi and Byakuya both stop heading lightning and look up seeing thunder clouds with black lightning. What is going on? Byakuya says not understand this and both turn to Naruto. Theme end Bleach theme morning remembrance Naruto stands up covered in black lightning. Nozomi, even now you give me the strength to keep on fighting, Naruto says and the sky become darker brining more black lightning. What I'm about to show you is the next level to Kaminari Shiryo, Naruto said surprising them and raises his sword. What are you talking about? I thought this was your final level, Kenpachi says questionably. No, I still have a long way to go until I reach it but this technique is very dangerous to use, if I used it in an area filled with citizens and weak Soul Reaper. They would all be killed, even vice captains could die if hit with this. Maybe captains as well, haven't you boot ice why there aren't any other people around? I've been leading you two here, Naruto says and black lightning from the sky hits Naruto's Zanpakuto. Behold the second form of Kaminari Shiryo. I call it lightning of destruction, Naruto says and blather look up at the sky and it starts to rain. They start to see something move around in the sky and everyone in Soul Society is seeing it. The giant beast then shows itself then Kenpachi and Byakuya's eyes widen all the way, they see a giant black lighting dragon. What kind of monster is that? Byakuya says never seeing anything like it. The dragon's roars loudly making everyone in Soul Society head it. Naruto puts his other hand on his Zanpakuto and the dragon's heads into the clouds. Both Kenpachi and Byakuya are in a defensive stance. It's useless, beg her, you can even block, it will hit you, Naruto says, and about to swing down, the lightning dragon shows itself. Lightning of destruction, Naruto says, and swings when making the dragon head down at speeds that no Flash Step or Sonito can dodge. The explosion is the same when Sasuke used his giant lightning tiger attack against Itachi, but it's black lightning. The attack rips through Senbozakura Kageyoshi. Kenpachi and Byakuya are costumed by the attack. Such power, Byakuya says, and his just is destroyed along with the mod soul. Hey. So this was his power, such power, Kenpachi says, and is destroyed along with the kid soul. The clouds start to clear and it stops raining to show Naruto breathing hard and standing in a puddle of water. Naruto looks around seeing all the damage. Nozomi, I did it. 1. Naruto says, falling to his knees and then to the ground, passed out. Daytime, Naruto is still on the ground, then feels someone poking his cheek and opens his eyes. It's Yakiru. Why are you here? Naruto said. Are you okay, Fishcake? Kenny told me to find you and see if you're still alive, Yakiru says, and Naruto sits up and ruffles her hair. Naruto looks at his missing hand and signs, then stands up. Naruto looks at Sokyoku Hill. Naruto starts walking towards there. Tell him I'm still alive, Naruto says, but falls to the ground. Fishcake. Yakiru says, worriedly running to his side, but he's getting back up. I can still hear crying, Naruto says with tears in his eyes. Nozomi's and Kujirosa's Zanpakutos are crying, Naruto says, and starts to get up. Nozomi, I will save you, Naruto yells and flash steps away, leaving Yakiru. 10 minutes later, Oko Yushima has his Zanpakuto's blade pointed at Ichigo, who's in a white robe. Friendship is meaningless. Solitude alone is the true proof of one's existence. I created the invading army with my own power alone. And now, I will use that power to annihilate the 13 divisions for refusing to acknowledge me. I even obtained my Zanpakuto's true power by being reborn as a mod soul. Truly, this is the ideal way of being, the transcendence that I have been seeking. Ahahahahaha. Oko yells. That's a load of crap, Naruto says, standing behind Oko, making his eyes widen, and he turns to him. You're still alive, Oko says, thinking he was already dead. Naruto starts to walk towards Oko. Haven't you noticed yet, mod souls are made based on Soul Reaper spirit particles. So you couldn't make them alone. And if it wasn't for Nozomi, you could never have gained your real power, after severing her from yourself. You yourself proved that it's impossible to do anything without the people around you, Naruto yells, making Oko's eyes widen. He takes a step back and Naruto takes a step forward. No one can achieve anything all by themselves. Denying that fact makes you a complete moron, Naruto yells. I want Nozomi back, Naruto yells. Silence. Oko yells, pushing Naruto to the ground since Naruto is still weak from the battle. Oko brings his Zanpakuto up ready to end Naruto. Naruto notices Nemu holding a vial. What that? Naruto says, and Oko kicks him away. I shall kill you shortly, Oko says, and Nemu walks to him. First, you can watch, as Nozomi becomes fully mine, Oko says, and Naruto notices that lion stuffed animal on Nemu's hair. Nemu then kicks Oko in the stomach, making him skid away. What is the meaning of this? Oko says, not understanding. Here's the meaning of this. Ahahaha. Khan yells from inside Raigai Nemu's body. You have got to be ducking kidding me, Naruto said, not believing this. What a dope, you totally fell for it. Are you feeling embarrassed? Come on, look at how pathetic you are. Khan says, making very odd poses, and Rukia puts on her glove and hits Khan in the back of the head, making fall out of Nemu's mouth, and Rukia takes out the stuffed animal and puts it in it, then kicks Khan in the face. That's enough, you creep, Rukia yells. ECS ta sai, Khan says, and Naruto steps in his head. You filth, why are you here? Oko says angrily. You wanna know? Well, Kuretsuchi pretended to be down when he was defeated, but actually liquefied his own body and attacked Raigai Urahara, found Kujirosa's lab, then we defeated our imposters, removed Nemu's pill, and inserted Khan's instead. What Sandal dude said, anyway, it's all thanks to me, Khan yells. What is? Rukia yells with Naruto and Ichigo, who are pissed. Doesn't sound like you did anything, Ichigo yells. What the hell is wrong with you for taking someone else's credit, Naruto yells. I did everything, Kan yells and jumps towards Ichigo holding a Nod Soul. Here, a Mod Soul with your spiritual powers in it. Kan yells, putting it in Ichigo's mouth, and he eats it. Suddenly his Soul Reaper cloths are back, and so is Zangetsu, which he draws. Naruto sits down tiredly. I kept my promise, Ichigo. Now it's your turn. Kan yells, throwing the stuffed animal lion at Ichigo, which he catches. You says it, Ichigo says, smiling, and turns to Naruto, who nods, meaning he will let Ichigo fight instead of himself. You pathetic excuse for a Mod Soul, Oko yells. You aren't the one who made me. I'm in another level from the guys you build, Kan yells at Oko. Ichigo, when he's weak enough I will do the finishing blow and bring Nozomi back, Naruto says, and Ichigo nods. Ichigo points his Zanpakuto at Kajiroza. Bankai, Ichigo yells, not holding back. Time skip. Naruto flash steps down to the crater with Ichigo. Oko reaches for his Zanpakuto. Stop. Both yell and Oko stops, and then suddenly his right hand glows blue. What is this? My body, Oko says, and grabs his head in pain. My head. God damn it, Oko yells in pain, feeling Nozomi gaining control for the moment. Oko then sits up. Naruto, Oko says in Nozomi's voice. Nozomi is in control at the moment. Nozomi, Naruto says worriedly, please finish it. This is your only chance. Please, Nozomi yells, and Naruto drops his Zanpakuto, unable to kill Oko if it means killing Nozomi. Ichigo, her chain link. Pierce her chain link. Kan yells, thinking that will save her, and Ichigo's eyes widen. Nozomi nods. Ichigo walks past Naruto. Ago picks up his Zanpakuto. Ichigo runs at Oko and yells, pulling back his Zanpakuto. He swings, but suddenly Oko blocks it with his Zanpakuto. How dare you? Oko says, pissed off and gaining back control. Give it up. The battle's already over, Ichigo says, making him madder. You think it's over? Let me teach you just how wrong you are. Oko yells, releasing massive amounts of spiritual pressure, shocking they, and Ichigo flash steps back next to Naruto. If I have to lose this body, then I shall simply destroy everything, Oko yells, stabbing the ground with his Zanpakuto. Renzanhajoukui. Oko yells, and then he realizes even greater amounts of spiritual pressure covering his body. What the hell is this? Naruto says, and the fring under Oko's feet moves upward. I never seen this kind of power before, Naruto say. Oko then drops his Zanpakuto into the ground, and a fortress appears. It sends Ten tucked into the ground, binding it there. Naruto and Ichigo flash step to the fortress and see Oko inside. Hey, what the hell is that thing? Kan yells, still with them. I don't know, Naruto said, and the fortress fires a beam into the sky, making an emblem of some sort of design. Look up episode 341. Is that? Ichigo said. This Reiatsu is massive, Naruto says, narrowing his eyes. That furt is absorbing the spirit particles all over Soul Society, Naruto says, feeling it absorb them. Suddenly the fittest fires a beam, hitting one of the squad divisions and completely destroying it. Such power, Naruto said, shocked, and looks at the fortress, which fires another beam at the captains, but Yamamoto blocks it. What Yamamoto is, old man, Shunsui says thankfully. Kajiroza Inaba. No, Oko Yushima. All of his plans have been driven by lust for vengeance against Soul Society. Now, he intends to destroy Soul Society along with himself, Yamamoto said. Back to Naruto Getsuga Tensho. Ichigo yells, sending a wave at it, but it had no effect. That won't work, Naruto says, walking to the fortress and puts an hand on it. Please allow me to pass, Naruto says, and it opens for Naruto, which he passes, making Oko's eyes widen. But, how? Oko says, taking steps back. You can't even understand Zanpakuto and why it allowed me to pass. You are so blind, Naruto yells, running at Oko and punches him in the face. Oko withstands it and punches him in the face. Then both notice all the Raigai Kagatais created heading towards the fortress. All of them going to a side of the fortress and begin to stop it and aim to destroy it, trying to protect Soul Society, but they're being destroyed doing so. They shall not interfere. Oko yells, touching the ground, about to stop them, but suddenly he grabs his head in pain. A tentacle wraps around Naruto and throws him out, trying to protect Naruto, and the glare closes. Nozomi, Naruto yells, falling to the ground hard. Naruto looks up and the fortress explodes twice the size of Swafong a Bankai, but the explosion was contained. The pillar collapses and they fall to the ground. They stand up, but there are flames around them from the explosion. Naruto grabs his Zanpakuto and past Ichigo. I'll finish this fight, Naruto says. Looks like the invading army didn't turn out like you wanted either, Ichigo said. Like Khan, they have their own wishes. Now I'm gonna save Nozomi, Naruto said, which Oko looks at them extremely pissed. Why will you not fall? I have those two captains enough power to kill you, but you still stand. You shouldn't even be moving, Oko yells and starts to move towards him slowly. Why is it? Why can I most strike you down? Oko says, and his upper clothes fall off destroyed and on fire. What had sustained you this time? Oko says, and stops seeing Nozomi's memories of how she thinks of them as friends and Naruto as a lover. The flames disappear and Oko remembers his past and becomes enraged. Damn you! Oko yells, ruining at Naruto, and their Zanpakutos clash. Do you not have something to protect? Do you not have this thing you can friendship? You draw close to each other, you look after each other, you become familiar with each other, Oko yells, and Naruto whacks Oko's Zanpakuto out of his hand. It is the weak who seek others' strength, Oko thinks, and becomes angry even more and grabs his Zanpakuto that's in midair. So how can you be so strong? Oko yells and swings his Zanpakuto one more time, which Naruto catches it with his bare hand. Oko is shedding tears now. It's because my friends give me the strength to keep getting stronger. Naruto yells, and Oko runs at Naruto screaming, pulling back a fist, but Naruto slashes across his chest, making Oko flies back in midair with tears going down his eyes and spits out blood, with blood gushing out of the slash on his chest. Oko then sees a memory of Nozomi. We have been there, not strong, not weak. There was no hatred there, nor anger. But we were alone, Nozomi says, and Oko falls to the ground bleeding badly. You were never alone, you always had your Zanpakuto with you. You always had Sumatsukigasa with you, Naruto says, and Oko has more tears coming down his eyes, finally seeing how he became this strong. Thank you. I entrust Sumatsukigasa to you, Oko says, glowing bright green and separated into two souls. I will, Naruto said, accepting what he said. Nozomi and Kajiroza are okay the ground wearing white robes. Nozomi, Koguraiza says with his eyes closed. Were we wrong? Kajiroza says, opening his eyes, and Nozomi sits up looking at him. I don't know, Nozomi says. I see, Kajiroza says, glowing light blue, and Nozomi moves closer, which Kajiroza looks at her. Nozomi whispers something to Kajiroza, who smiles and disappears. Nozomi picks up the red mod soul and it disappears. Nozomi, Naruto yells, running to her, and trips, then falls on the ground right in front of her, surprising her. Naruto. Nozomi is cut off by Naruto sitting up and moving closer to her, which he hugs her. Never leave he again, Naruto says with tears in his eyes, and Nozomi looks away sadly. Are you alright? Khan yells, running towards her with Ichigo. Khan, yeah, I am, Nozomi says, and Naruto still has his arms around her. Your right arm, Nozomi says worriedly, seeing it's gone. Oh, this is nothing, Khan says, and Nozomi sees that lion stuffed animal in his hand. Well, now everything's finally over, Khan says, and Nozomi looks away again sadly. Yeah, Nozomi said, told ya, now let's go back to the human world together, Nozomi, Khan says, and Nozomi starts gluing, making Naruto eyes fearfully. You're, Khan says, realizing what's about to happen as well as Naruto. Nozomi, Ichigo said, I'm sorry, Naruto, this was the only way, Nozomi says, remembering his she made Oko stab through himself, stopping the fight. Ichigo, what does she mean? Khan yells at Ichigo, who looks away sadly. Naruto themes sadness and sorrow, Khan, Nozomi says, and Naruto arms fall to his sides with an emotionless face. This is his it should be, Nozomi says. What do you mean, Nozomi? This is no good at all, Khan yells with tears in his eyes. I got to tell him at the end. From now on, I'll be his friend, Nozomi says. His friend? Khan says. I managed to learn what friendship was, so now it's my turn to teach him, Nozomi says. Don't say that, it's like you're really going to disappear. I won't accept it, Khan yells, and Nozomi takes the small lion in her hands. Thank you for this, Khan, Nozomi says. I couldn't protect you, Khan said. No, you did. We were lonely, Nozomi says, and the others arrive. But now we're at peace. Thanks to all of you being here, especially you Naruto, Nozomi says, seeing Naruto looking down sadly. I can't lose you, Nozomi, Naruto says, and Nozomi had tears in her eyes and kisses Naruto. Thank you for always being there when I needed you the most, Nozomi says and starts to fall back and is about to fade out of existence. Theme end. No, there's still a way to save her, but if I do this, I will lose all my Soul Reaper powers, Naruto says and sucking them all. Naruto, what are you gonna do? Rukia yells and Naruto bends down capturing Nozomi's lips and begins to send all of his Reiatsu he has left into Nozomi which she behind to stop fading and becoming more solid again. Mindscape, this is goodbye then King, it was nice fighting with you, Hollow Naruto says getting out of existence. This is it, farewell Naruto, Raijin says and fades away as well. The entire forest then disappears. Goodbye, Naruto, Raijin, Naruto thinks shedding tears. Out of Mindscape Naruto falls to the ground screaming in pain feeling his Soul Reaper powers disappear and Nozomi falls to the ground passed out from being brought back. Sumatsukigasa then gets absorbed into Naruto and disappears as well. Time skip Naruto wakes up with a start and grabs his chest in pain. You're still in pain, you just lost your Soul Reaper powers like how Ichigo did, Urahara said who was watching over Naruto the whole time. Where's Nozomi? Naruto says looking around and he hears the door open seeing Nozomi who in her usual clothes looking away sadly. She's okay but I don't know what you did but she's not a mod soul anymore. Somehow she's become a true Soul Reaper. Who taught you the technique? Urahara says. My dad, Naruto says and Urahara's eyes arden never knowing that Minato knew something like this. A technique that made her into a true Soul Reaper, how is that even possible? Urahara thinks never seeing something like this. Why did you? Nozomi says wanting to know why he gave up all her Soul Reaper powers for her. Because, Naruto says standing up shakily and walking towards her. He's now standing in front of her. I would give up anything for you Nozomi, even my life, Naruto says and they kiss. You can't see Rukia or hear her anymore can you? Naruto says sitting next to Ichigo on their house watching the sunset. No I can't, Ichigo says and has a sad smile. Sue, did you kiss her goodbye? Naruto said and Ichigo blushes and almost loses his balance which would have made him fall off the roof. Where the hell did that come from? Ichigo yells at Naruto while blushing. Hey, I heard all the stuff you did trying to save her from being executed, Naruto said and Ichigo looks away with a light blush. Hehehehe, but don't worry, you'll see her again as well as everyone else, Naruto says smiling his famous smile and Ichigo smiles. Yeah, Ichigo says watching the sunset. Naruto, Ichigo, what are you two doing? It's time for dinner, Nozomi yells and the two. Let's go, Ichigo, Naruto says and Ichigo nods. Time skip 2 years later Naruto is currently sleeping in his own room. There were some living arrangements and they decided that Yuzu and Karen will share a room as Naruto gets his own. Naruto and Ichigo have gotten taller now. Brother, Naruto, it's time to get up, Yuzu yells from downstairs. 5 more minutes, Naruto says and rolls over but there was no more bed he can roll on so he fell off the bed, head first. Ow, again, Naruto yells sitting up fully awake and holding his head in pain. Wake up, Yuzu yells again and Naruto signs getting up to take a shower. I'll be down in 6 minutes, Naruto yells and grabs his school outfit. Naruto and Ichigo go to high school now. 6 minutes later Naruto and Ichigo walks downstairs and see both Yuzu and Karen in new school uniforms. Ta-da! Yuzu says showing her new uniform off and both Naruto and Ichigo blink in little surprise. Oh, yeah, today's your entrance ceremony, right? Ichigo says and both take their seats. You look fine Yuzu, Naruto says smiling and Yuzu smiles with joy. Pass the soy sauce, Karen, Ichigo says and Yuzu slams the bottle on the table with a dark aura surrounding her. Here's your soy sauce, Yuzu says with an angry look and walks to the counter. Ichigo, you really should be nicer to your sister and not ignore her, Naruto says sweat dropping. What are you so angry, Yuzu? Naruto said trying to fix the situation. I'm not angry, I waited right until the day of the ceremony just to show Ichigo how I looked in my uniform. And he barely noticed, Yuzu says getting some rice out of the microwave. Not that I care, just for that, I'm not serving Ichigo the tasty burnt parts of the rice, Yuzu says mad. Ichigo just turns to his food. Your skirt's unzipped, Ichigo says then Naruto signs and Yuzu blushes in embarrassment. See, I was looking, Ichigo says eating rice. You stupid perverted brother, Yuzu says and Naruto chuckles. You're right, he is perverted, Naruto said. Karen then stabs a ghost in the glasses with chopsticks, drawing their attention. Karen, what is it? Naruto said, wondering what she was doing. Nothing much. Karen said, not a care in the world. Yuzu. Look, Yuzu, how's my suit? Does the necktie or the bow tie go better? Ishin says, showing a tie full of stars and a bow tie with polka dots. Well, both look incredibly gay like your monkey suits. I say get a better suit and a striped tie, Naruto says, eating, and Ishin falls to the ground shedding tears. So cruel, Ishin yells. They both look fine. Doesn't matter, Yuzu says, not really caring. Doesn't matter. Don't say that, Yuzu. Take a good look, Ishin says, not knowing which to choose. They're both fine. Whatever, Yuzu says, giving a go away movement with her hand, and Naruto chuckles and ruffles Yuzu's hair. Nice one, Yuzu, Naruto says, smiling, and Yuzu smiles happily. Whatever, Ishin says, shocked, and both Naruto and Ichigo stand up, heading to the door. Thanks for breakfast, Ichigo said, and both leave the house. 17 months since the battle against Oko. Man, just over a year already, Naruto said, both walking out of the house, and Ichigo nods. This is our last year of high school. I'm still a little surprised Chad and Orihime told everyone about our Soul Reaper powers. They said everyone believed them right away, Ichigo said. Well, we did fight Aizen, you and I, Naruto said, remembering the fight. Naruto and Ichigo see Mizuhiro. Morning, Mizuhiro says, and they both wave. Even so, I'm glad they accepted it, Ichigo says, smiling. Naruto turns and sees Ishin, Karen, and Yuzu leaving. I wonder if she will become a substitute Soul Reaper like we were. Her spiritual pressure is growing stronger. High level medium, Naruto thinks, remembering what Ishin told him about Karen. Have a good day, brother. Naruto, Yuzu yells, waving. Will do, take care, Ichigo says, and both wave goodbye. Even now, I miss my powers, but it was worth it, saving Nozomi, Naruto thinks, smiling. At Karakura High School, Ikaigu. Naruto, Keigo yells, running towards them. I did it last time, so it's your turn, Ichigo says, and Naruto signs. Naruto moves fast, grabbing Keigo's leg and flipping him over, making him land on his back. Hi Keigo, Naruto said. I'll see you guys later, then, Mizuhiro says, walking away. Yeah, see you at lunch, Ichigo says, watching Naruto put Keigo in a headlock. Keigo begins tapping Naruto's arm. Naruto, I'm tapping out, Keigo yells, losing air. Oh, sorry, Naruto said, letting go of Keigo, who drops to the floor. Both Ichigo and Naruto head to class. Naruto smiles, seeing Nozomi. She got a little taller, just a few inches taller than Rukia right now. Naruto starts to blush about what Kon told him about Nozomi's chest area growing bigger as well. Naruto shakes his head. Nozomi and Tatsuki turn to them. Did you bring back the game I lent you, Ichigo? The sequel's coming out, so it'll be a pain if I didn't get it back, Tatsuki says, wanting her game back. Hey, Naruto, Nozomi says, moving closer to Naruto and kisses his cheek, making him blush. Yeah, I have it right here, Ichigo says, looking through his bag, and his eyes widen, seeing his badge. Nozomi has her arms wrapped around Naruto, and both of them see the badge. Tatsuki pushes Ichigo a little, trying to see if he brought it. What, did you forget it? Tatsuki says. Shut up, I told you I have it, Ichigo says, giving her the game. Unlike Ichigo, Naruto always keeps that badge around his neck like a necklace, never leering it out of his sight. But sadly it doesn't work anymore. Hey, Ishida, where do you think you're going? A teacher yells, and both Naruto and Ichigo turn to see Ishida running to the exit. The nurse's office, Ishida yells, passing their room. He's doing well, Naruto thinks, and pays more attention to class. Time skip. Naruto is currently on the roof with Ichigo and Keigo. Have you decided what you want to do with your future and stuff? Keigo says, looking at all the buildings. You mean career paths and all that stuff, Ichigo said. All that stuff, what else is there? Naruto said, looking down, seeing Nozomi hanging out with her friends Tatsuki and Orihime. Can't I leave it for now? Ichigo says, drinking his soda. We're going to have career guidance counseling at the end of the semester. You can't put off thinking about it much longer. You had good grades back when you entered high school, but they plummeted in the second half of the first year, right? While Naruto's grades are still good, Keigo says. Shut up, I had a lot of stuff on my plate back then, so I couldn't help it. Besides, I'm still above average, Ichigo says looking at the sky. I wonder what Ruki is up to these days, Keigo says surprising them. Why'd you bring her up all of a sudden? Ichigo said and Keigo gives him a surprised look. Naruto said you two were very close, it sounded like you two were dating, Keigo says and Ichigo turns angrily to Naruto but all that's there is dust. Naruto, what the hell have you been saying? Ichigo yells and sees Naruto heading for the stairs and runs after him. I just said that you were close, nothing more but I did say she slept in your room, Naruto says laughing with Ichigo chasing him. Time skip Naruto, Ichigo, Mizuhiro and Keigo are all walking home together and Beth Naruto and Ichigo have some bruises on their faces after they got into a fight. Hey, you, a guy yells chasing someone. Naruto and the others look surprised and stop. The guy pushes past then running with a bag. Stop, damn it, gave me back my bag, you bastard, the man yells passing them. Mizuhiro, Keigo, take our bags, Naruto says and both he and Ichigo give them their bags. Do us a favor, hold the bags, Ichigo says and both start running and catching up. They pass the guy whose bag was stolen gaining his attention and both Naruto and Ichigo grab the bag snatcher and turn him around. Huh, he says and both punch him in the face knocking out a few teeth. Well, that was boring, Naruto said. I forgot to mention this but Naruto likes to fight but only fights that are two friends fighting to have fun and get stronger. The guy turns holding a knife and swings but Ichigo catches it. Naruto pulls back his right fist and throws it punching him in the face again. He gets knocked out and falls to the ground then Ichigo grabs the bag and walks towards the stranger. That was pretty cool, thanks, the man said taking his bag back. You too hungry? I'll treat you to ramen or something. Sounds good, right? He says and Naruto smiles getting free food but Ichigo grabs him but his shirt if starts pulling him away. We'll pass. We'll have hell to pay if people find out later, so please keep the fact that we beat that guy up to yourself, Ichigo says and takes his bag from Mizuhiro who walks towards them with Keigo by his side. I wanted ramen, Naruto says sadly with his head down and takes his bag. Alright, that's too bad, he says. Let's go, Naruto, Keigo, and Mizuhiro, Ichigo says and they all start waking away. The man smiles. What's this? You're more cautious than I thought. Ichigo Kurosaki, the man says to himself and looks at Naruto. He may act like a kid but I can see that that's not how he really acts. Naruto Uzumaki, interesting, both of them are, the man says smiling and a substitute badge falls out of his bag. Naruto yawns and sees Isshin running towards them. Ichigo wakes up and both duck which makes Isshin fly out of their window. Isshin is currently hanging from the window. What's wrong with you two? Are you guys crazy? What if I fell over? Isshin yells at them. Then you will die, say hi to Kenpachi for me okay, Naruto says and getting up and kicks Isshin in the face making him fall down and hits the ground. So cruel, Isshin says in pain. Naruto closed the window. First the weird dreams and now this, Ichigo says signing and gaining Naruto's attention. Weird dreams, like what? Naruto says and Ichigo tries to remember. I wonder, as soon as I tried to describe them, I forgot, Ichigo says. Weird, Naruto says agreeing with Ichigo. Time skip at school, so how much? Ichigo says sitting next to Naruto in classroom. 5,000 yen for both of you guys, a guy says wearing a martial arts outfit and Ichigo grabs him by his robe which Naruto signs. 5,010 per week. You can't be serious. Next. Ichigo says throwing the guy back and sits down. You could have been a little nicer, Naruto said and sees a new guy wearing a soccer outfit step forward. Right, I'm Satoda, the vice captain of the soccer club. Uzumaki and Kurosaku, we'd be honored if you were to lend us your, Satoda is cut off by Ichigo. Yeah, just tell me how much for how long, Ichigo says and Naruto behind to fall asleep. Ichigo sees Naruto sleeping and snaps his fingers waking him. What, where am I? Oh, Naruto says and Ikigi sweat drops. As I was saying, what position? Ichigo says. I believe it would be best to ask you to be the goalkeeper. We would like Naruto to join the team, Satoda says. Wouldn't Chad make a better goalkeeper? Ichigo says. Ichigo remember, Chad has a part-time job that pays more, Naruto said and Ichigo remembers. Oh yeah, Ichigo says and Naruto stands up. You can finish up here, I'm going for a walk, Naruto says. Why do I have to be stuck here while you ditch? Ichigo says and turns back to Satoda. Time skip. So they offered that much? Naruto says wearing a soccer outfit while Ichigo wears a goalie outfit. Huh, I thought you two do basketball, Tatsuki said standing next to Nozomi. Hey, our contract expired last week. So should you two be at your club now? Naruto says to Nozomi. Didn't I tell you, we got a part-time job. We've been working as assistant instructors at Out Dojo last month, Nozomi says surprising them. Huh, you're an assistant instructor. I'm glad I stopped going to that dojo. No way in hell am I calling you Master, Ichigo says to Tatsuki and Naruto laughs a little while Tatsuki's eye twitches and Nozomi signs. How about I force you to do it right now? Tatsuki says with an evil look in her eyes. So who would win? Naruto whispers to Nozomi who shakes her head. It could go either way, Nozomi says and Naruto nods at that. Ichigo, Tatsuki, Naruto, Nozomi, Orihime yells at the window drawing their attention. Hey, Orihime, Ichigo says. Orihime then jumps out the window and grabs onto a pole while she laughs. Are you crazy? You can fall. Naruto yells and looks away seeing her panties. Cover your panties, Nozomi yells while Ichigo is looking away as well. Orihime slides down and gets a fist to the head hard. That hurt, Orihime says in pain holding her head staring at the very kissed Tatsuki. You're damn right it did. You pull any more dangerous crap like that again, she'll show you a real punch, Tatsuki yells showing her fist which makes Naruto, Nozomi, and Ichigo sweat drop. Stronger than that one, my head will split in two, Orihime says with tears in her eyes. Tatsuki, calm down, it was a stupid stunt, no need to try and commit murder here, Naruto says making Tatsuki angry. Shut up, you have no right to lecture me on how to teach Orihime a lesson, Tatsuki yells at Naruto. So when you're teaching the students at the dojo, do you use your fists and hurt them? Naruto says making her more angry. Keep talking and I'll show you that I can beat you in 10 seconds, Tatsuki yells and both of their heads are colliding. They're like fire and ice. Hard to believe that when they don't fight they get along pretty well, Nozomi says and Ichigo nods both watching them fight. Actually, I wanted to ask you guys for advice on something, Orihime says watching Tatsuki who's holding Naruto by his shirt with her fist pulled back while Naruto is holding back her fist both glaring at each other and they both turn to Orihime. Advice? They say at the same time. Yeah, the thing is, I'm composing a background theme for my life, so that at exactly the right moments, a musician can cheer me on to the tune of the Do-Re-Mi song, and it'll be an energetic happy song full of laughter, Orihime says. Hey Ichigo, she's your girlfriend right? You answer. Naruto says making both blush. For the last time we aren't dating, Ichigo says with a tick mark. Guess I have to start a new rumor if you two don't date, Naruto says. I knew it, you were the one starting the rumor about me being an emo, Ichigo yells but Naruto takes out a book and looks at Ichigo. Did you say something? Naruto says and Ichigo tackled Naruto which both begin fighting. Please stop, Orihime yells with her eyes looking like threes freaking Naruto and Ichigo out. How'd you just do that? Ichigo says shocked pointing at Orihime's eyes. Your eyes are like little threes, Naruto says shocked while both are standing back up. Orihime, your face pulling skills have truly grown, Tatsuki says and Nozomi runs Orihime's head smiling. Good job diffusing the situation Orihime, Nozomi says smiling. I can't decide it, should, do, stand for, doom, or, downing sake, so I'm stuck, Orihime says showing a drawing. Well her drawing is still better than Rukia's, Naruto thinks looking at it. Which do you think is best? Orihime says looking at them smiling. Whichever, all four say at the same time. Oh, yeah, we don't have time for this stuff, Tatsuki says. What's wrong, Tatsuki? Orihime says. Our part-time job, you've got one too, right? You'd better get back, Tatsuki says and Nozomi also remembers their job. Bye Naruto, talk to you later, Nozomi says kissing Naruto and grabs Tatsuki's hand and both begin running to the dojo. Ichigo, we forgot to call in. You remember the last time we forgot, she chewed us out, Naruto says and both begin sweating. Naruto, Ichigo, it's time for you two to join practice. Naruto, Satoda is cut off by Ichigo and Naruto throwing their gloves to Satoda who catches them. So sorry but we forgot that we have plans. Another time, Naruto yells and both shin running. Time skip, you dumb asses, their boss yells into the phone which makes both flinch at the volume. Do you even realize what you're doing? You two missed last week, then you only can't for one day, and now you want to take a other week off, she says. Yeah, but that why me and Ichigo are apologizing now, Naruto says into his phone standing next to Ichigo behind the school. You think a simple little apology makes everything okay? You think you're on flex time, punks? Get over here, or I'm gonna fire your asses, she yells. Give me the phone, Ichigo says, and Naruto hands him his phone which Ichigo outs it up to his ear. You mean that? I guess we had that coming, Ichigo says. What? No, what are you saying, Ichigo, she says, and Naruto begins sweating. I guess it can't be helped if two unreliable guys like us end up getting fired. We are really sorry, the is for looking after us for such a long time, Ichigo says into the phone. Not long at all, just half a year. All the fun of working at a general services store is yet to come. Our adventures will go on and on. She's cut off by Ichigo pressing end call and handing it back to Naruto. Because if what you just did, she may come to our school and drag us to work, Naruto says. Ichigo stops realizing what he just did. She starts to sweat too. Both hear a yell and walk to the front of the school seeing a bunch of gang members. The leader of the is a big guy. Are there two sons of a bitches named Uzumaki and Kurosaki at this school? Get your asses out here, the guy yells. Now what? What decade eyes he think this is, Ichigo says. Fatso must be angry at us for something, Naruto says, wondering why he and his gang are here. Those guys broke 7 of my boy's teeth. Seriously, 7, what's wrong with you two? Normally it would be 2 at most, he yells, and both recognize the guy who was stealing that mon's bag. Oh, he works for them, Naruto says, and smiling at his that kicked that guy's ass. I know you two are listening. You guys must be pissing your pants, wondering how I found out your name. You don't know nothing. My boy saw your faces real clear. Plenty of ways to find 2 guys after that. Anyway, Kurosaki and Uzumaki. Until you get out here, me and my boys from Miyasho High are taking over this gate, he yells while Ishida is walking towards them. Hey, guys. Would you kind giving this outdated nonsense a rest? Can't you see you're inconveniencing everyone here? Now, you look reasonably bright for Kurosaki's and Uzumaki's friends. You should at least be able to understand what I'm saying. Now, hurry up, she go home, Ishida says, starting in front of them. Huh, what's that? Are you Kurosaki? The man says, liking an idiot. That guy's gonna get his ass kicked real fast, Naruto says. What was that? Ishida says, and hits the man in the face, sending him skidding back into a pole, hitting it and making it bend. What the hell did you do? Ain't you taking us lightly? The leader yells. That would be my line. Didn't you say you hit a good look at their faces? In what possible way could I resemble Kurosaki or Uzumaki? Ishida says. What's with you, 4 eyes? The leader said, staring at him. I take it all back. You don't have to go home. Or rather, none of you should expect to be able to walk away, Ishida says. What does that idiot think he's doing? Is he trying to make things worse? Ichigo says. Who knows? Naruto says. You son of a bitch. Get him, he yells, and they all charge. Before they could attack Ishida, Ichigo slams one of the guys' faces into the ground while Naruto punches one of them in the stomach, making him fall to the ground. Oh wow 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 wow, the guy yells from Ichigo, bending his leg backwards. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, Ichigo says while the guy is tapping out. Ishida then kicks Ichigo in the back, making him stop. Why'd you do that, Ishida? Ichigo yells angrily at Ishida getting back up. I should be asking you that. Why did you two come out? Ishida says. Why? To get you to back off, Ichigo says, and Naruto just stares at Ichigo. I thought we came to kick all their asses, Naruto says, confused. That's the guys, Abuta, the guy yell, pointing at them. Them? Abuta says, looking at them. Those are those guys that did this to me, he yells, and both Ichigo and Naruto look at him. You're the idiot who tried to steal that guy's bag. You deserved it, you jackass, Naruto says. Shut up, he yells at Naruto. Enough with taking. Prepare to have your. He's cut off by Naruto and Ichigo punching him in the face. Abuta falls backwards. So shall we kick their asses or what? Naruto says, with a bunch of them behind Naruto raising their we alone. Damn it, we ain't done with you guys yet, They yell, and before they could react, Naruto knees one of them in the stomach and throws another guy ramming into one of his friends. All of them begin dodging, punching them. You've been doing too much hollow hunting lately. What's gonna happen? Soul Society starts to notice, Ichigo says, taking two guys down. Hollow hunting. It's hollow extermination. Don't make it sound like in doing it just for fun. And for the record, I only do it when there's a request from the Urahara store, Ishida said. Did you forget the fact that he was a wanted man in Soul Society until just recently? Naruto said, elbowing a guy in the stomach. In any case, this isn't the time or place for that sort of conversation. Text me later, Ishida says. Like if know your number, Ichigo yells. Naruto will give it to you, Ishida says, making Ichigo turn to Naruto. How do you have his number? Ichigo says. He gave it to me to call him for the next request in hunting hollows, Naruto said. Wait, how did you get a phone? Ichigo says, still fighting the goons. Urahara gave it to me after I helped out at the store, Ishida says, shocking the phone. I'll bet that's the kind of phone that doesn't work in this world, Ichigo says, seeing the phone Ishida is holding up. Uzumaki. Someone says, drawing their attention, and the goons move out of the way, showing a man holding a battle. It's good to see you looking healthy as ever. You remember me, right? He says, and Naruto blinks. Do I know you? Naruto says, having no idea who the guy is. What was that, you bastard? In gonna Rio out here, he's cut off by someone kicking him in the back, making him skid and stop at Naruto's and Ichigo's feet. They all look, and all the goons were taken down easily. You look like you're having fun. Naruto and Ichigo, she says, smiling darkly at them. She's calling your guy's name, Ishida says, seeing Ichigo sweat. You'll never take me alive, Naruto yells, running away. Crap, our boss, Ichigo says, and is cut off by her charging towards him, grabbing him by the face, and she runs towards Naruto. Ow, my face. Ichigo yells in pain, and she grabs Naruto's leg and drags him towards her car. She enters the car with them, shutting the door. She drives away. Amazing. It took her less than a second to fold Ichigo and Naruto like laundry and take them away. Who could she be? Ishida says. At Unagi shop, Ikumi throws both Naruto and Ichigo on the couch while they're tied up. Damn it, that hurts. Take it off. Naruto says at her angrily. I'll take it off if you sweat not to run away, Ikumi says, glaring at them. Are those the same words that you said to your first boyfriend when you kidnapped him? Naruto says, and with one swift move, Ikumi kicks Naruto in the nuts, making him fall to the ground in pain. Okay, I avoided saying husband, but either way, I deserved that one, Naruto says weakly. Suddenly the phone rings, gaining their attention, and Ikumi answer it. Naruto and Ichigo then have a conversation. So, you had to say something about her husband, Ichigo says, and Naruto signs and nods. Yeah, wrong move, Naruto says in pain, taking deep breaths. Both then hear her arguing with the person about their shop's name. You know, I keep saying this, but you really ought to change that name, Ichigo says, and Naruto nods. What? Change the sacred bane I inherited from countless generations of ancestors? Not in 1,000 years, Ikumi says. No, boss, he's not saying you should change your family name, just the name of the shop, Naruto says bluntly. And don't call me, boss. Call me Ikumi. Now get to work, Ikumi says, throwing a piece of paper at them that has a list on it. Look after Kondo's rabbit in Mashiba's 2nd district. Sort through Fukushima's mouse accessories in the 6th district. Do hard work Yamashita over in South Kawasa's 1st district, and there's plenty more where that came from. While you two have been slacking off, the requests have been piling up, Ikumi says. What's with all this? It's all stuff you could do yourself, Naruto says, not understanding, and Ikumi grabs Naruto's head and glares at him dangerously. Naruto, why do you think I hired you? Ikumi says angrily at him. Quote, because you had a crush on my dad in high school and you were best friends with my mom, Naruto says, and Ikumi blushes in embarrassment. Mommy, where are you? Kaoru says, walking towards the door, and Ikumi turns to it. Crap, Ikumi says, and charges fast and throws her gloves at Ichigo's face. Mommy, I'm hungry, Kaoru says, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. Oh, are you all right, Kaoru? Ikumi says sweetly to her son, and she bends down to him. Naruto then unties himself, surprising Ichigo. When did you get untied? Ichigo says, and Naruto just blinks. From the beginning, Naruto says, making Ichigo's eye twitches. We could have escaped, Ichigo yells and Naruto just blinks. I could have escaped, wasn't gonna help you, Naruto says. She both begin headbutting each other. Why you traitor, Ichigo says and Kaoru looks at them and glares at Ichigo. Hey, big dumb Kurosaki's here, Kaoru says and sees Naruto then smiles. Hi Naruto, Kaoru says smiling and Naruto waves at him while Ichigo's eye twitches. Why does he like you and hate me, Ichigo says looking at Naruto. Because you're a big dumb idiot, Naruto says and receives a headbutt from Ichigo. Both were about to fight when Kaoru says something stopping them. Mommy, when will you go on a date with Naruto, Kaoru says then both Ikumi and Naruto blush at that. Sorry but I already have a girlfriend but if I was older I would date her, Naruto says smiling with a little sweat. Dear, now go back. Mommy will be with you in a minute, Ikumi says and Kaoru nods. Okay, Kaoru says and makes a face at Ichigo. Kaoru, Ikumi says again and Kaoru leaves. She shuts the door and signs. Sorry about that, that boy just can't warm up to you Ichigo, even after all this time. I'm sure you'd like to tell him a thing or two, but try and restrain yourself, okay, Ikumi says to Ichigo. Tell him a thing or two. Like how I'm not interested in old ladies like you, Ichigo says bluntly and gets whacked upside the head by Ikumi using a book. That hurt, Ichigo yells and Ikumi is glaring at Ichigo and Naruto signs. Suddenly the doorbell rings drawing their attention. A customer, Ikumi says and walks to the door and opens it. Please come in, Ikumi says and Age realizes that the guy is taller than her. Welcome, Ikumi says. Hey, you're the guy from before, Ichigo says standing next to Naruto. Someone you know, Ikumi says and both are looking seriously at the guy. No, Naruto says and the guy just smiles. Want my ramen, I haven't touched it yet, he says and Naruto's expression instantly changes and grabs the ramen then starts wolfing it down shocking the three at the speed. Thanks, Naruto says smiling and hands him the bowl. Naruto then sits on the couch and his expression instantly changed to seriousness in the swallows. Time skip 3 minutes later Naruto and Ichigo are sitting next to each other while the man is sitting on the opposite side. Who are you? Are you a customer? Ikumi says. Of course I am, one bona fide customer, so please get some oolong tea, he says and Ikumi hands him the tea which he drinks. What is it you want? Naruto says looking at him seriously. What strange things you say. I didn't want anything from you guys. I was looking for a shop that would take on hard jobs, and just happened to see your sign. I went in, and there you two were. Just a coincidence, he says and both smile knowing it's a lie. And the ramen's a coincidence too, Ichigo says smiling and he just smirks. Would the young lady over there be the owner? He says to Ikumi. Young lady, why yes, Ikumi says stuttering at being called young. The man suddenly takes out a picture from his coat. Can I get you two to do something for me? He says and shows the picture making both of their eyes widen. It's Ichigo's dad. I'd like you to run a background check on someone. His name is, he says. Isshin Kurosaki, Ichigo says making him look up at Ichigo. Huh, you know him? He says with little surprise. Are you messing with me? Isshin Kurosaki's my dad. If there's something you want to know, ask me. I'll tell you anything you want to know, Ichigo yells standing up. Your dad, huh, what a coincidence, he says and Naruto narrows his eyes. What did you say? Ichigo says getting angry. But can you really tell me anything? How much do you really know about him? He says. What do you mean? Ichigo says confused. Just what I said, nothing more complicated than that. How much do you know about your own family? I'll bet you don't even know all that much. Not yet, anyway, go to the Urahara store. You'll see something pretty interesting, he says to them. At Urahara shop Naruto and Ichigo just saw Karen exit the Urahara shop and she's running back home. Karen, why was she at Urahara's shop? Ichigo says shocked. Something isn't right, Naruto says with narrowed eyes. Worried, you should be. Your little sister keeps going to some mysterious stranger's house, the man says walking towards them. He's not a mysterious stranger, as far as I know you're the stranger. Urahara, Naruto is cut off by the man. Helped us out, right? He says shocking them. Just how much do you know, that you think you understand this Urahara guy? I'm warning you, you two should make a move now. If you want to protect your family, he says and both look away. Tell me your name. Ichigo says to him. Who are you? Naruto says, both wanting to know who this man is. Ginjo. Kugo. Ginjo says to them with a smile, and both narrow their eyes while Ginjo's eyes narrow. Ginjo. Kugo. Make no mistake, I haven't started trusting you, Ichigo says, turning around and starts walking away. Of course not. Then I'll just give you two this, Ginjo says, and throws them two cards which they catch and look at. Well, see you around, Ginjo says, walking away. Unlike you, Ichigo, I will never trust that man, there's something off about him, Naruto says, and Beth begin walking home. Time skip at night. Naruto is currently sleeping in his own room, but unknown to him something is watching him. It was a tall individual who wears a helmet which conceals its entire head and its single, glowing eye. Its entire body is wit. At its front, the helmet had a peak at the center with slits on both sides. It's wearing a high collar cloak. It was without a doubt, it was the Quincy BG9. I've finally found you, the one that's related to the man that created me. My master, Naruto Uzumaki, BG9 says with its eye glowing bright. Naruto is currently in his room with Nozomi. Naruto is currently watching a movie with N. His cell phone rings, which he picks up, drawing Nozomi's attention. Hello? Wait, what? I'll be there right away, Naruto says, standing up suddenly. What is it? Nozomi says, and Naruto puts his coat on. Ishida's in the hospital. Something happened, Naruto says seriously and surprising Nozomi. At the hospital, Ishida, Ichigo yells, opening up the door and sees Naruto with Nozomi. Huh, how did you guys beat me here? Ichigo says, confused. We took a shortcut, but never mind that. What happened to Ishida? Nozomi says, looking at where he was slashed at. What about Chad? Ichigo says, and Orihime shakes her head. He's not answering his phone. At this time of day, he's probably at the construction site, Orihime said. You even phoned Kurosaki. You're going completely overboard with this, Ishida says, and his father Rukin enters. Completely overboard? You still talk like an adult and act like a child, Rukin says, drawing their attention. I'm not even supposed to have any visitors. Do you mean for my injuries to get worse, letting all these people barge in here? Ishida says, with the blindfolds closed so they can't see him. You fool, who do you think operated on you? As if this degree of disturbance could affect your injuries. A novice brought to death door by an enemy's blade had no right to tell his doctor what to do or what not to do, Rukin says. Enemy's blade, was it a Zanpakuto? Naruto says to Ishida. It has nothing to do with you and Ichigo, Ishida says, and Naruto makes a fist angrily, and Nozomi looks away. How can it not? You got taken out, didn't you? If you couldn't take care of it in your own, then we just have to all take care of it together, Ichigo says, but Ishida says nothing. Say something, Ichigo yells. It is essential that you share information. Or do you mean to waste my kindness? Rukin says, leaning against the wall with his arms crossed. That's enough out of you, Ishida yells angrily and stops in pain. Oh, so close. If you raise your voice by 5 hertz more, your wounds will open, Rukin says. Is there something wrong with you? That's your son. I know you two got a rocky relationship, but your family, Naruto says, but both say nothing and look away. I hit a nerve, didn't I? Naruto says to Nozomi, who nods. Ishida, Orihime says, looking at the curtains. Sorry, Orihime, right now, I really have nothing to tell you. Would you mind going home? Ishida says. Sure, Orihime says, and they leave the room. Both Ichigo and Naruto are leaning against the wall, hating that Ishida won't tell them. Come on, we're going back to your house, Nozomi says, taking his hand, surprising Naruto, and they begin walking to the exit. Naruto suddenly turns to a window showing a building. Naruto, what is it? Nozomi says to Naruto, and he shakes his head. I thought I saw something, Naruto says, and they begin walking again. Why is it that we aren't being told anything? I know Rukin knows something, but he won't tell me and Ichigo. We did lost our powers, but we can still help, Naruto says sadly. You don't have your powers anymore. They don't want you to get hurt, Nozomi says, and Naruto nods. I just want to help, Naruto says, and Nozomi wraps her arms around him right arm. Don't worry, everything will get better soon, Nozomi says, smiling, and Naruto nods. Next day, Naruto is currently walking by himself when he felt like he was being watched. Naruto looks behind himself, but he doesn't see anyone. Ring, ring, Naruto picks up his cell phone, and it's Tatsuki, which he answers it. Yes, Naruto says into the phone. You're not with Keigo and Mizuhiro, Tatsuki says. No, I was going to meet up with Ichigo, Karen, and Yuzu at the mall. Why? Naruto says. They said to join up with them later, but now I can't get through to them. Tatsuki says, and Naruto becomes suspicious. Maybe you didn't have any signal, Naruto says, looking around, and starts walking. That would be fine, but there's the thing from yesterday as well, Tatsuki says, and Naruto stops. The thing from yesterday? What are you talking about? Naruto said seriously. Didn't they tell you? Tatsuki says, and Naruto's eyes narrow. Someone's after them for some reason, Tatsuki says, making Naruto's eyes widen. What? Someone's after them? Naruto says angrily. We don't know for sure, though, Tatsuki says, and Naruto is getting another call. Well, thanks, meet up with Ichigo and tell him. I'll look in the 4th district while you look at the bowling alley. Tell Ichigo to search the 3rd district, Naruto says. Got it, Tatsuki says, and hands up. Naruto answers the second call. Hello? Naruto says. Go to the construction site in the 3rd district. Your friends are being held there by some thug, the person says, shocking Naruto. Thanks, whoever you are, Naruto says, and hangs up. At an ALLYWAY, no need to thank me, master, BG9 says, hanging up the phone and behind, walking deeper in the alleyway, waiting for night where he can move freely. At the construction site, Naruto rubs in it and sees both Keigo and Mizuhiro knocked out. Guys, Naruto yells, running toward them, but hears something falling and looks to see iron pipes falling towards them. Naruto speeds up and gets in front of the pipes, and they fall on him, hurting Naruto, but he's holding them up. Naruto hears footsteps and looks to see that guy who stole Ginjo's bag. Why are you after them? Are you that desperate for revenge? Naruto says angrily, and the guy is breathing hard for some reason. Revenge? That ain't it, I'm just carrying out a request, the guy yells, running at Naruto, and his eyes narrow at the word, request. The guy punches Naruto in the face and begins kicking him. You can't do a thing, can you? Your friends are going down one by one, the guy says, and kicks Naruto in the leg, making him fall to his knees. And your family's the grab's finale, he says, pissing Naruto off, and the guy takes out a knife. Don't mess with me, Naruto yells and throws the pipes off him and punches the guy right in the face, making him fall on the ground, dropping the knife. Naruto walks to the guy and grabs him by his shirt. Tell me whose request? Naruto says, pissed, and hears a book close, making Naruto's eyes widen. Naruto turns to see a guy walk from behind a support beam to the building. So you're the one who hired him, and I right? Naruto says, and the guy kicks Naruto off and starts running. Naruto stands up looking angrily at the thug and turns to the man who just starts walking away. Hey, wait! Naruto yells, running after him, but he disappears by some green thing. Stop! Someone says, and Naruto turns to see Rukin. Rukin? Naruto says, surprised. So he vanished as soon as he sensed my Reiatsu. Or was it that other Reiatsu that suddenly appeared that seemed to be about captain level? Rukin thinks, narrowing his eyes at this Reiatsu, feeling like a Quincy's Reiatsu. Rukin then turns and bends down to Keigo. What are you doing here? Naruto says, surprised. I happen to be nearby, Rukin says, while checking to see if Keigo and Mizuhiro have any wounds. Who was he? Naruto says, looking at where that man disappeared from. Surely it was just a delinquent looking for trouble, Rukin says, and looks at the sky. It's almost sundown. No way, this guy was defiantly the one who attacked Ishida, I just know it. Naruto said angrily, and Rukin just looks at Naruto. These two are fine. They are unconscious, but virtually unharmed, Rukin says, and stands up. I will call an ambulance to be on the safe side. You are not to involve yourself in this any further, as well as Ichigo, Rukin says, making Naruto grit his teeth. How can I do that? If they go after my family, friends, or even Nozomi, I'm getting involved, Naruto says, and Rukin just pushes his glasses up. Then let me ask you a question instead. What can you do? Rukin says, making Naruto's eyes widen. Rukin then starts walking away. Without your Soul Reaper powers, you can't do anything. So don't get involved, Rukin says, and Naruto looks down. Time skip at 10:45 p.m. Naruto is currently standing next to a street lamp. What the hell's happening? I need power. If I don't have it, I can't protect them. Naruto yells, and his eyes widen, remembering what Ginjo said. Flashback. I'm warning you, you should make a move now. If you want to protect your family, Ginjo says, throwing then the cards. Flashback, and Naruto takes out his card and cell phone, then starts dialing the number. Hello, you've reached execution. Your number has not been recognized. Are you a new member? We just had another member join today, so please state your name, the speaker says on the other end. I will never trust you, Ginjo, but if you can help me gain the power to protect my friends, I'll take it, Naruto thinks. Naruto. Uzumaki. Naruto says into the cell phone. Naruto Uzumaki-sama, we have been waiting for you. Your cousin Ichigo has joined earlier today, she says, surprising Naruto. Welcome to execution, the lady says. Somewhere else. Please stop, the thug says, all bloody and was knees in the stomach hard, making him spit out blood. You heard my master. Time for you too. BG9 stops and turns to see Rukin. So you're the one I sensed, Rukin says, and GB9 just stares at Rukin and throws the thug aside. What are you? You have the power of a Quincy but you're mechanical, Rukin says, and BG9 turns to Rukin. I will says this once, if you get in my way. You will regret it, BG9 says, and both stare at each other. 5 minutes later, Rukin is on the ground defeated, covered in wounds, and BG9 walks towards the thug on the ground beaten. Why are you here? Why did you come here? What is your goal? Rukin Sarah weakly. To protect and serve my master. You are his friend's father, so I cannot kill you, but this thug must go, BG9 says, and a tendril comes out of its body and stand the guy through his heart, killing him. The tendril recedes back to BG9. Call an ambulance to clean up the trash, I'm leaving. BG9 begins walking away and moves his herd from an arrow. BG9 looks at Rukin, who fired it. Pathetic. You are weak, BG9 says, and disappears. Such power and it wasn't going all out, what on earth is it? Rukin thinks and loses consciousness. Naruto is at the lamppost at night talking to the lady on the phone. Please redial. Adding 008005 to the end of the current number, the lady says. Okay. What else? Naruto says, needing to know more. Then, as soon as the phone stops ringing for your second call, please hang up. We will connect you on the third call, she says, and Naruto does it. Someone answers the phone. You're starting to piss me off with the phone thing. Are the cops after you or something? Naruto says angrily. Now don't say that. If we hadn't set it up this way, it would end up being way more of a pain for us, Ginjo says on the other line. Where can we meet and talk? Naruto says. Figures. Why else would you call? But anyways, today's sudden, his about tomorrow. At 8 p.m. tomorrow, come to the 7th district of Chubara in Naruki City. There'll be a dirty looking apartment house, the first in the 7th block. I'll hear you there with Ichigo. Don't worry, I think I'll be able to help you too, Ginjo says. Next day at school, Naruto, Nozomi says to Naruto, who's outside the school, and he turns to get. Orihime says she hasn't seen Chad lately. Have you seen him at all? Nozomi says, and he shakes his head. No, I haven't seen him. He wasn't in class today, Naruto says, confused. No, he hasn't been coming to school lately, Nozomi says, making Naruto's eyes widen. Something's weird is happening, I can't put the pieces together, Naruto says, confused, but that man he met was definitely in problem. Orihime will go see if he's alright, while I need to report to Soul Society about it, Nozomi says, and Naruto nods. Okay, just be careful, Naruto says, and Nozomi walks to Naruto and kisses him on the cheek. Just be careful, okay, Nozomi says, and Naruto smiles, wrapping his arms around her. Aren't I always fine? Naruto says, smiling, and she glares at him cutely. Don't worry, I'll be fine, Naruto says. She kisses her on the lips, then starts walking away while waving bye. Naruto meets up with Ichigo and both start heading for the sage direction. It seems like a messed up puzzle that won't go together, Naruto says, not liking what will happen in the future. At 7th district of Choubara and Naruki City at 7:57 p.m. Naruto and Ichigo are currently walking through a street. Let's see, Seve found it, Naruto says, looking at the dirty apartment. Yo, someone says, and both turn. 5 minutes early. You guys are really taking this seriously, Ginjo says, walking out from a lamppost. You idiot, we were 3 minutes early, Naruto says, and they stare at each other. Sigh, so what did you guys want to talk about? Ginjo says. Someone took down one of my friends and hired a thug to attack 2 other, Naruto says. And? Ginjo says, raising an eyebrow. We want help, Ichigo says. To find whoever did it, huh? I thought you didn't trust me, Ginjo said. You know about both me and my dad. You're not just an ordinary human, are you? Ichigo says. I don't trust you but, Naruto says and Ginjo looks at his apartment. No one else to turn to. Right, why not follow me? Ginjo says leading them towards the building and they follow. Once they get inside the building, they enter the elevator and press a button then the doors close. All I ask is that you two carry out my request first, Ginjo says and Naruto narrows his eyes. The one about my dad, Ichigo says glaring at Ginjo who's not even looking at them. No need to glare like that, Ginjo says and the elevator door opens which they exit. You don't have to investigate him anymore. That was just an excuse to pique your interests, Ginjo says. Just an excuse, Ichigo says. We're here, slide your card through the reader, Ginjo says and they stop at a door then he presses a code. Naruto swipes his card through the reader and they hear a click then Ginjo opens the door. When they enter, they're met with two adults and a kid. The door behind them closes. Naruto takes a seat okay the couch. Big place, Naruto says looking at the ceiling. We knocked out the walks between 5 rooms and the ceiling between 3 floors. Some of our members are pretty well off, Ginjo said sitting looking at them. Now, before we get onto the main point, let me tell you two about our goal, Ginjo says. Your goal? Naruto says confused at this. Yeah, the goal that made us approach you two. We want to restore your Soul Reaper powers, Ginjo says shocking both of them and making their eyes widen. What? Don't pretend you didn't hear me. I said our goal was to restore your Soul Reaper's powers. The both of you, Ginjo says. That's impossible. Explain why want that? Ichigo says pissed and grabs Ginjo by his shirt but Ginjo grabs Ichigo's hand. Cool it, you can fire those questions out like a machine gun, but that doesn't mean I can answer them as fast, Ginjo says surprising Ichigo and he lets go. Take a seat, it's gonna be a long night. I can take my time explaining it all, Ginjo says. After explanation Naruto is staring at Ginjo's sword in shock. We call this ability, Fullbring. Ginjo says. Fullbring? Naruto says shocked and suddenly the sight opens up and a girl with magenta color hair and eyes. I'm back, the girl says loudly and Ginjo turns to the girl annoyed at her barging in. Riruka, you're back earlier than I thought. Did you find him? Ginjo says and she nods. Of course I did. Hey, is that glowing thing your sword? Why'd you bring it out? Are you stupid or something? And man, is it dark in here. Hurry up and get some more lights. I can't see a thing, Riruka says annoyed at this. In not planning on it. Get a pair of glasses, Ginjo says bluntly to her. I hate glasses, though I hate contact lenses even more. They dry out your eyes so fast. I've get really big eyes, Riruka says pointing to her eyes. No one cares, Ginjo says and Naruto just watches this weird conversation. Who is she? Naruto says looking at Ginjo. Riruka Dokugamin, she's one of us, Ginjo says to them and Riruka notices them. What, who are those two over there? Riruka says wanting to know. I'll introduce you later, hurry to and bring him in, Ginjo says and Riruka glares at him. You're not the boss of me. Hey, come in already, Riruka says turning to the door making them all look and Chad enters. Both Naruto and Ichigo are speechless. Chad, this is it here you've been, Naruto says shocked to the wide eyes Chad. Naruto, Ichigo, Chad says surprised. What are you doing here? You weren't even coming to school. Why, what's going on? Hey, asshole, Ichigo yells looking at Ginjo. Calm down, Ichigo, Naruto says calmly looking at Chad. Naruto, Ichigo says looking at him in surprise. How am I supposed to calm down now? Explain what's going on. If I don't like what I hear, Ichigo is cut off by Naruto touching Ichigo's shoulder making him stop and turn to him. Calm down, I won't tell you again, Ichigo. Let's sit down and listen then say something, Naruto says taking his seat and Ginjo cracks a smile at how he diffused the situation that quickly. You too, Chad, Ginjo says and Chad sits down as well. Huh, you guys know each other? I had no idea, Ginjo, did you know? Don't tell me I'm the only one who didn't know, Riruka says but was ignored. Would you mind getting Chad something to drink as well? Ginjo says to the one-eyed man. Stop ignoring me, hold on, you're not saying that this Ichigo and Naruto guy are Naruto Uzumaki and Ichigo Kurosaki. Turn the lights up so I can see their faces, Riruka says. Later, Ginjo says and Naruto can't help but smirk at the odd relationship they have. Why not now? Riruka says but is still ignored. Now we're all here, let's go to the main. Ginjo is cut off by Riruka going over the counter and grabbing a flashlight. I've had it, show me what you two look like already, Riruka says turning on the flashlight and shines it at both Naruto and Ichigo who are sitting next to each other. Okay, that's bright, Naruto says trying to look away from the light. Riruka has wide eyes staring at the two. They're so damn hot, Riruka yells and falls to her knees. Are you okay? Naruto says looking at her. No, I'm not, Riruka says looking away with a light blush. Leave her be, I'm gonna get right to the point, Ginjo says and they nod. Before we begin, Ginjo, could you kindly retract your sword, the one-eyes man says. Yeah, sure, Ginjo says touching his sword which recedes and becomes a necklace again. Do he sure to pay for the floor tiles later, he said and Naruto sees destroyed tiles where Gingo's sword hit. Yeah, do you understand our power now that you've seen it with your own eyes, Ginjo says to them. Yes, Naruto says. Great, then I'll move on. Do you know why hollows have holes in their chests? Ginjo says suddenly. Why bring that up? Of course we know, Naruto says confused. When you lose your heart from the agony of not having been saved by a Soul Reaper, it leaves a hole. But what happens to the lost heart? It turns into the mask. Hollows' unique appearances and individual special powers all cubed from the heart which was torn from their bodies. Each of us had a parent attached by a hollow before our birth, Ginjo says making both of their eyes widen in shock. The hollow's power left traces in the assaulted mother's body, and we seem to be born with it dwelling inside us. Thus, our power is closer to that of hollows than Soul Reaper. We are repelled by this power. Naruto, Ichigo, you once possessed hollow powers as well. You must understand how we feel, Ginjo says. I never hated my hollow. We were on good terms, Naruto says surprising all of them except Ichigo. As I was saying, we want to cleanse this vile power from inside ourselves, Ginjo says and stands next to the others. We've spent many years gradually gathering allies with the same kind of power. And we discovered a single truth. This power is the exact opposite of ourselves. Okay, other words, if we found someone with the powers of both a Soul Reaper and a human, we could transfer our power to them, Ginjo says and both stand up. Do you mean that? Naruto says shocked. There was once another like you too. One born to a Soul Reaper and a human, Ginjo says making their eyes widen. Some of my friends managed to become human again by transferring their powers to them. Do you see, in order for us to return to being human, we have to get both of your Soul Reaper powers back, Ginjo says and Naruto narrows his eyes. I feel like I can trust him but I also feel I can't, Naruto thinks confused at this. That's not what I wanted to ask about, Ichigo says suddenly. What? Ginjo says and Ichigo continues. I want to know what's happening to me and my friends. Me getting my Soul Reaper powers back has nothing to do with it, Ichigo says and they all stare at him. You mean you don't need those powers? Ginjo says with narrowed eyes. Outside, they are all threats to Naruto. If they make a move, I will interfere, BG9 says to itself staffing on a building, looking straight at the apartment. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. The next part will be out soon.